It has been 17 years since we left corporate life in the medical field to get on a plane and then a boat to go to the other side of the world to become full-time missionaries in Papua New Guinea. So why did we come? And what has been the result? Hi, my name is Steve Erickson.
Hi, and I'm Lori Erickson. We've been working with Adventist Frontier Missions for the past 17 years. Before coming here to Papua New Guinea, where we've been working, I was working as a nurse at the University of Michigan Hospital in various capacities.
And I was working in an architecture business for 20-some years. So as I was working in architecture, I felt God's call to do something more for Him. I wasn't sure what it was at the time, but through a series of events, we ended up talking with Adventist Frontier Missions.
So we filled out an application with Adventist Frontier Missions, and through the process it came out that there was a possibility that we could work in Papua New Guinea. So we were excited about that option, and we got to the end of the whole process, and we were feeling like we really needed to have more confirmation from God that this was what we really were supposed to be doing.
So the night before our call came, we were experiencing the most doubts that we had ever had about our ability to do this work. And so we prayed earnestly for God to give us some kind of confirmation, either if He wanted us to go or to just close the door so that we would know one way or the other. I slept very well that night, but around 4 in the morning, the place we were sleeping was a quiet, dark room, but something woke me up and I was wide awake, and it was almost like an angel had, kind of shaken me. I couldn't figure out what had woken me up, but either in my dreams or in a vision, but I seen a picture of heaven, and I could see myself standing in heaven, and surrounding me were about a dozen guys from Papua New Guinea, and they were all smiling at me and thanking me for coming to share the gospel with them, because they said if I hadn't come, they wouldn't be here.
That day of our call, I sent an email to a missionary family that was working here in Papua New Guinea to let them know we'd accepted the call to come. But there was another family, David and Cindy White, that I had not had any contact with. So the day after we received our call, I was opening my computer to check my emails when I saw an email from David White, and I started to read it, and as I read it, tears came to my eyes because I saw what David said. He said, around the end of last year, in my morning prayer time, God impressed me with the thought that a new family was going to come help us, that they would have kids, and that their last name is Erickson. My heart pounded because this was a confirmation to me that we were really supposed to go and work among the Gogodala people.
So then we launched on our mission to Papua New Guinea, and we were tasked with learning the language, the local language, and also to learn the culture and develop culturally relevant Bible lessons. We started to study with them. Since then, we've had many baptisms, and our church continues to go forward here in this village of Kewa.
I remember the first snake bite I took care of was a man who didn't say anything to anyone for about 4 hours after being bit by a Papuan black, and they finally brought him to us, and he was delirious. He was, very drowsy, and I gave him some charcoal water to drink and put a charcoal poultice on his bite, and we got him to Balimo. But before he even got to Ballymo, he was already getting better. When the nurses saw him, they were wondering what I had done. And it was really neat because I found that charcoal works, and I was able to actually help save this man's life.
Having been trained in the architecture field, I wonder, why did God call an architect to a place where there's no straight lines? So God has been using me with the skills that He had given me to build a number of buildings. Also recently, God has helped me build a training center here, and it's going to impact this area for years to come.
Through the 17 years that we've been working here, we've had the privilege of seeing many people make decisions for Jesus, and we've literally seen hundreds of baptisms. And there's nothing like seeing someone give their life to Christ and being able to baptize them. I've grown to have a deeper understanding of God because of our experience here. You start to realize as you battle for souls, what God does every day for us.
I'm really thankful for the call that God gave us to be missionaries here in Papua New Guinea, and it has really enriched my life. I wouldn't trade the world for the experiences I've had here, and I've grown closer to God as a result of it, and I'd like to think that my life has impacted others here as well. Although our time here is coming to a close, the Sliger family has stepped in to join this mission project and continue things forward. And if you happen to have that feeling of being called to something more, well, maybe God is calling you to the mission of your life.